Hello, hello, second time around. So I'm going to be on tonight with Jessica Marshall. She is an angel reader and a Reiki healer, and I'm really excited to speak with her tonight. She's here, and I'm going to ask her and invite her to come, and she should be on any second. There, she did it! We got
Yay! It worked.
How are you, Jessica? Thank you for bearing with me. I was having some tech issues, of course.
No, that's quite all right.
You know
I
how
thought it
that
was
is.
on my end, so it's
I actually just had to ask my 16-year-old daughter to help me. So she was able to figure it all out, which always is helpful and awesome. It's great to have teenagers because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So how are you tonight?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I was just telling our audience I spent the day baking. We have like a big family tradition that we bake together, Christmas cookies, and it was really fun, but I'm exhausted, but it was fun. And I just was wondering, like, I'm thinking there's all these traditions this time of year. It seems like people have so many fun traditions and stuff. So anyway, I would love for you to share with this audience, that whoever comes on now or listens to it on a replay, a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your journey.
Sure. So my name is Jessica Marshall. So I feel like everybody's journey kind of begins at birth, but I mean, I was brought up very religious in a Catholic family, and trying to do all the right things and everything.
Yeah.
But about 10, almost 11 years ago now, I ended up getting really sick and just couldn't seem to get ahead of it. And I ended up out of work, really sick, and just kind of at my rock bottom.
Wow.
So with all of that, I found myself trying to figure out what I could do to get beyond it. And one of the things that happened with me was I actually just kind of gave it up to God and was like, I just really need you to just point me in the right direction. And I was like, I hadn't been back in church and all of that in quite some time. And I had said, just guide me and get me through this. And I will do whatever it is that you want me to do. I was like, I will, reconnect and whatever you guide me to do. So with doing that, I ended up finding a job and getting back into things, and my health got better. And it was like, okay, so when am I supposed to step into the rest of it? and
like, all right, you kept up your end of the bargain.
Yeah.
I'll keep up my end.
So just guide me. And I had always been intrigued by energy work and, angel cards and tarot cards and all that kind of things. And I wasn't really sure where it was going to connect with everything, but I started working with the angels, and I found gratitude, which really helped to kind of push me through all of the stuff that was going on. And that kind of led me to now. I kind of stepped into working with the angels and working with the angel cards, which I love. And from there, with the gratitude practice, I didn't realize how significant that was going to be for me.
Yeah.
And about, I want to say maybe it was about 5 or 6 years ago, I started doing energy work. So I became a Reiki practitioner and really loved doing that as well. And shortly after that, I started doing a 21-day living a life of gratitude group with one of my dear friends.
Wow.
Who does energy work as well. And it was just during November, and we did that for a few years. And then I had a bunch of people say, we don't want to stop. We want to keep going. So I was like, So 2020, I had decided to really kind of put in and go full force with the gratitude practicing. And I started a group called, now it's called Growth and Gratitude. But I had committed throughout 2020 to do a gratitude video every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a huge commitment. And when I got to the end of the year, it was like, do I continue? Do I not? But it kind of transformed. I have Gina, who helps me in the
Yeah.
group and is amazing. And we kind of share doing our videos during the week, and we do other things to kind of build the practice. And just as a reminder for everybody, because as you practice gratitude, it raises your vibration to that of love. And the more love and light that you have coming in and that vibration that you're on, the more things come into your life that are at that vibration. All the things that you want, you know, the things you're passionate about, the things that you love. So it was like life transforming, really.
Yeah, I would love to share with everyone. I'm part of that group. I joined a few months ago, and every morning there's a beautiful gratitude meditation or a card pull or a beautiful quote, and it's kind of like your daily reminder of gratitude. And I just love it because sometimes I can't catch it in the morning, but I know that during the day or even at night I catch it, and I just love that it's there, and it's always inspiring, and it kind of makes you think a little bit, you know, outside of, like, sometimes you're in your rut and you're like, oh, okay, you know, it just kind of shifts your energy. So
it really does.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm so glad that you like it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a gift in itself. So if you can intentionally practice your gratitude, you know, it really can shift everything within your life, really. And I started really kind of making sure I was practicing it on a daily basis, even before I started with the group, because I was finding the more I practiced it, the easier it was for me to get out of like those ruts and those negative downward spirals that I was finding myself in. I would drive to work, and I had like an hour ride to work and then back home. And I would find, like, I would go over my day and I'd be like beating myself up over things. And then it would go beyond that, and I'd be like, wait a second. But when I noticed that I was going into those negative spirals and I was just kind of like beating myself up, I'd go to gratitude and it would shift everything.
Isn't it amazing? Gorgeous. That's gorgeous. So I would say that that's definitely a gigantic pearl of wisdom that I would say that our audience should definitely share. And do you have any like specific like strategies or techniques that you use, or anything, like just is it, you know, like any reminders, like how do you remind yourself to, or would you say that somebody's starting off to remind themselves about like gratitude and, you know?
So I mean, I really think that there's a few different ways you can do it. So I love being part of the group because there's that daily reminder. But if you don't have that, leaving yourself little notes.
Oh.
You know, you could do that. You know, write something down and put it somewhere where you're going to carry it with you. If you have like a day planner, or maybe you put it on your phone, like as a picture on your phone. I feel like that's a really great place because you pick up your phone probably the most out of anything else during the day. But maybe jot down like 3 things that you're grateful for and use that as your what do you call it? Like a reminder. The screensaver on your phone.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, like a reminder, like that reminds you.
Exactly.
Yeah, a screensaver.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, and then you have a reminder there that's always like at a hand's reach.
Yeah.
Another thing is you could infuse an object that you love and that you carry with you. You could even do your jewelry. You could do a stone that you carry with you, and just use that as something where when you touch it, you infused it in the morning with your gratitude, and it'll just bring you back to that gratitude.
Oh, that's a great idea too. Yes. Yeah. Kind of like a little gratitude trinket of some sort.
Yes. Yeah. But it's really kind of versatile because you can in doing that, you can use anything. You could have a pen that you really love, or like it could be a watch, or like I said, jewelry. It could be just about anything that you can use.
That's really cool. I love that you're kind of saying all of that. But it doesn't have to be complicated. And I think that's really one of my big things here with our viewers. We like to, as humans, we like to make things very complicated and overthink them. And I think that as simple as we can make it, it doesn't need to be complicated, right? It's very simple.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
I think you want to incorporate it in a way that's going to be easy for you to do it on a daily basis, you know, because when you start intentionally practicing that gratitude, there's a lot of things that come back to you that are really, really great, wonderful things. You know, you're going to just amplify all of the things that you love, and you can use it for manifestation, and it's really great for your health and all of that as well.
Yeah.
So there's so many different areas of your life that you'll see shifts and changes.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to.
Yeah, it is. And I'm going to share just a little story that I had with when I first actually started to journal. It started off as a gratitude journal. It is still a gratitude journal, but it's a lot more than that now.
Yeah.
But initially, and I always tell my viewers, like, I laugh, like I probably spent like 6 weeks. I think it was like 6 months. It felt like forever writing like the same 5 things I was grateful for. And it always started with like a cup of coffee, because it was like at 6 o'clock or 5:30 in the morning. Right. So and it took me a long time to kind of work, not a long time. It felt like a long time to get over that and get more in depth and start to really see like the millions of gifts every day that I'm grateful for, right? They're like, it's just an infinite number of things, but it takes a while, and to not be discouraged, right? Because you have, it's something new that you're adding to your day, right? To your routine.
Yeah, exactly. It's a practice, and we get better at the more that we do it. And I feel like there's always going to be something else that kind of pops up, you know. So you start out with your few basic things, you know, you're grateful for your home and your family, and you get like those kinds of things, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, you know, I'm really grateful for, you start being grateful for everything. You know, you can be grateful for your body, you can really break it down. I'm grateful for my feet, you know, like finding gratitude for like every little thing. And as long as it means something to you and you truly are grateful, that's where that vibration is going to be raised up. Our gratitude meditation each day it's 2 minutes, because we want it to be simple. You know, we want it to be long enough so that we can actually focus on it, and it allows us to raise our vibration. But at the same time, it's not necessary for it to be, you know, a 20-minute meditation, just to get your vibration up and allow you to stay kind of in a higher vibration throughout your day. And it's something you can always return back to. If you have a hard time during the day, you can always go back to the gratitude.
Yeah. I was going to say, Jessica, I think that that's really an important piece too, is that, you know, things happen during the day and you kind of get sometimes in a funk or whatever, right? And you get mad, right? And this isn't something difficult. It's just like, you know, turning it around. Like you can turn it around in a few seconds, right? If you start getting into it. It doesn't make the problem go away, or if there's a conflict or whatever, it doesn't make it go away. It just opens up the energy so you can move through it differently and flow differently, right, through it and stuff. So yeah, that is awesome. I love those ideas though. I love like the little stone or like a trinket, piece of jewelry. And I do, it is something, or like putting it on your phone. I think that that's really important for people to make it very easy and accessible. I think that's the piece, right? You want it easy and accessible. You don't have to go like looking for it, like your notebook or your this or that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. And can you tell me a little bit more about the angels and Reiki and all of that you're doing? I'm not sure, you know, who will be listening, and kind of a little bit of a basis around it.
So I love incorporating the angels into everything that I do. So I always start out any energy work with calling all of your angels and your ascended masters, and I call them your divine support team, because there's your ancestors. Everybody comes in, and then I will just do a Reiki session, which is a gentle form of energy healing. Reiki is something that it knows everything. that you need. So it goes directly to the spot that you need it, and it helps to shift things around in your body and move out energy that's stagnant and no longer serving your highest good, so that energy that you need, so that the energy that you need comes in, and it would be for your highest good.
Oh.
So I love working with that, and I actually just started working with, I say just started, but I've been working with IET, which is integrated energy therapy as well, and it's another form of energy healing, and it actually utilizes 9 healing angels, and it's all the archangels of healing, and it's just an amazing energy.
Wow. I don't know anything about that. That's new to me.
Yeah, so I started that over a year ago. I took my first class, and then I just recently took 2 more classes, and it's just so amazing because it works on you on a cellular level. So it's not just your energy field and the meridians within your body, which is where all of your energy travels, and your chakras, but it's actually there's points on your body where you hold things, and it helps you to release things. So for instance, like your kidneys hold fear. So if you have a lot of fear, you might have some like lower back issues or things like that. And there's ways with this new energy healing that I've learned that you can actually release that. And I say it's new, but it's been around for since like 1981 or something like that. But it's just so beautiful.
Wow.
And the energy is amazing with the angels.
Oh, that's so cool. Very, very cool. So you kind of integrate both the angels and the energy healing into one, and they're not necessarily a separate thing for you.
Exactly.
That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And people are interested in that. Like, well, I'm definitely going to have you like tell where people can reach out to you, but like, where could they kind of do research on that? Because I had never even heard of that before.
So you can always, obviously there's Google.
Google's our friend.
There's always Google. And there is, I'm trying to think of the name of the website because for some reason it's escaping me. And I'm like, I should have something here with it written on it.
What's the name of it again? You said what is it?
It's IET.
IET. Okay.
I think it's the Center for Well-Being.
Okay.
Yes, that is it. It's the Center for Well-Being. And that they actually are who facilitates all of the IET and the structure of that. So you can find all kinds of information on their website. And I mean, it's just amazing. And they have stuff on all of the different angels, and you can learn to do meditations with them, and each individually. So it's kind of cool to like really get to sit with that energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can also reach out to me, and I can also get you some information that way too.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can always reach out and find out if you're really interested in the angels and energy healing. And Jessica's awesome at all of this stuff, and I think it's all fascinating. I have it's funny because you were saying you grew up very Catholic and very religious, and I did too. And so I have like this mixed emotion about some of this stuff. Like I'm like, I know it exists and I know it's there, but I'm like, like all of that.
Yeah. It's hard because I feel like I've evolved because we were at the church like every week. We were volunteering for things. I was an altar server, all that kind of stuff. And I love my upbringing and my experience as an altar server and being in the church. But I found that there were some things that just were a disconnect for me. So finding this kind of work and incorporating that into my everyday and working with the angels, I'm learning that everything is the vibration of love. So if everything goes back to love, then that's all that really matters at the end of the day. And that's what I primarily want to work with, because there's a lot of different modalities out there, but this is what I really was drawn to.
Yeah. Well, and it also sounds like you you're not made a deal, but you asked God, and this is what He gave you, right? So this is where
Exactly.
you ended up, right? You asked God because you wanted your own personal healing, and that you would.
Yep.
As I have somebody I know who always says, "Well, you work for God now," like like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yep.
like in a good way, not like it's like not a horrible way and stuff. But yeah,
Exactly.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So now, do you do your healing services over the phone, or do you do anything in person, or how do you work
Um,
your business kind of?
so I was doing in person before COVID. I
Mm.
find I haven't gone back to in person. Um, I work on animals as well, so I've actually started doing in person, but at like other locations with animals. There's like a library that's not far from here that is animal friendly, that kind of thing. Um, so I'm trying to think of how I feel about having people come in and start
Yeah,
doing more in person stuff because I really like doing that as well. But I have been doing more distance.
yeah, more just
And it's really just an amazing practice because you get the benefits just the same whether you're in person or distant.
yeah.
Um, so with distance sessions, I do the same thing I would as an in-person session. I call everybody in, all the divine support teams for yourselves, and then I do all of the work while you're relaxing at home or wherever you prefer to be. And then I'll send you a message afterwards with
Oh,
any of, and if you're open to like messages that come in, or if there's any energy that I feel as I'm doing the work, I can give you some messages and things like that on what I felt. So,
yeah. How rewarding is this?
yeah.
It's amazing. I love it. I love it. So, is there anything prior to us, like we're not ready to get off just yet, but
It's okay.
anything like any other pearls of wisdom that you would like to share with our audience about all of this, or any of like following kind of your truth or your dreams, or anything that comes to mind as I'm saying this to you?
Um, I feel like the biggest thing for me, especially right now, is as you're going through your journey, making sure that you step beyond those like borders that you've created for yourself. We create boundaries for a reason, but some of those boundaries are meant to be crossed. And when it comes to your practice and what you're interested in, if you're drawn to something, try it, because you just don't know how much it's going to resonate until you really do. Don't be so afraid to step outside the box, because I feel like since I've started to kind of do that for myself, things have been opening up in so many different facets. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, am I really doing that? Like, wow. Um, because like I went to Sedona a couple months ago and that was amazing. But I really wasn't thinking at the beginning of this year, like, I'm going to go to Sedona. Um, but stepping outside the box and kind of putting myself out there has opened up all these opportunities.
Yeah.
And it's really just, so if you're feeling like you need to like do something, listen to your intuition. Those are like all of those positive messages that are coming to you. Those are the things you want to listen to. Those are the things that are your divine support team sending you messages.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, you can ask them for more like specific like signs for you, but definitely listen to those repetitive messages, because that's what's going to get you to the next step and
Like,
move you forward.
yeah, those nudges that won't leave you alone.
Yes. Yes.
So, Linda has a question. It says, do you use angel cards, or is it all through meditation? So,
I do use angel cards as well.
yeah.
I will use angel cards during a energy session if I feel guided to, but I also do angel card readings. I actually do once a month. I do a group reading in the gratitude group, and I utilize my angel cards and other cards. I love working with those as well because they really can. Um, really fine tune things to what you're going through. And it's not coming from me. So it's like, I don't know what this means for you, but this is what you need to hear, type of thing.
Yeah.
So I love working with those two.
Wow. Great question, Linda. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
Yes.
So I do think that your pearl of wisdom was really important, as well, because I feel like those little nudges or the little signs, like, you hear a word over and over, or all of a sudden it's in your environment, all of those pieces are kind of how we're communicated, right, from
Yes.
the spiritual world. And so when you feel those nudges and you feel that inkling, and that you feel like God's talking to you or your angels are talking to you, and there's like you said, there's this fear behind it, it's like, step over that, like, just make the next step. It doesn't have to be so big. It can be a baby step, right?
Exactly. Just tiny steps. And like, I feel like some of the things with gratitude too, and incorporating that even in when you are making those steps, you're not going to experience fear and love in the same moment. So if you can shift to that gratitude vibration and that vibration of love, it's going to move you through it a little bit easier. You're going to get through that fear, and making little affirmations for yourself. Like if you're seeing something and you know that you need to do it, and you're like, how do I do that? How do I step outside the box?
Yeah.
And actually like put myself out there, make a gratitude affirmation towards that. Like, I'm grateful that I was able to have that conversation with that person and it went really well. Like, just finding those ways to incorporate that into gratitude.
Yeah.
It helps to bring that to fruition.
And would you suggest even doing that prior to the conversation? Like, I'm thinking it's almost like setting an intention, right? So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you
Definitely.
so if you're having some fear, we're going to use this conversation idea. I'm just clarifying, right? So if you're having going to have a conversation, let's say with your boss, let's pick, right, with a boss, or a family member, and it's a difficult conversation, to actually state the gratitude for having an easy conversation that flows and blah, blah, prior to even having the conversation, right? And just setting the energy in that direction as you start or go into the conversation. I love it. I love
it. Exactly. Yep. No, I'm glad that you clarified that more. But yes, that's exactly what I meant. And I find, like, if you're manifesting things, like say you're trying to do something and you're like, well, I can't because I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have, the support that I need. You can say, an affirmation and find gratitude for those things already before they come in, and it's going to help to manifest them that much faster for you. Yeah. And I really think that that's one of the keys too, because I don't think I would have been able to go to Sedona if I didn't, I was like, I am so grateful for this opportunity to go to Sedona. I'm so grateful that I'm going, because it popped up and it was like within a couple months, and I was like, oh, okay, so let's see what I can do so I can get there. But it's pretty amazing. I actually have used it, and I'm actually going to be going to Hawaii next month for a retreat. And I was like, this isn't going to happen. And then I was like, oh, but I've been really working on it, and it helped to manifest that. And right now everything looks really good, and I am going. I'm all booked, but I keep praying that with everything in the world that it aligns with that as well. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Wow.
So yeah.
I'm actually jealous right now. I'm not even gonna pretend I'm not. I'm like, oh my gosh, so jealous.
I can't even believe that that's an opportunity that came up, that I could actually afford, the things that pop up for you will be just, you're gonna be like, how do you pass that up? How do you really, everything just kind of lined up exactly the way I needed it to, in order for everybody in my life to say, you can't not. You go. You just, you have to go. You can't.
It's so true. When things happen like that, I'm always like, they always say, oh, it's meant to be, that kind of thing. But I always feel like when you're really in that energy and things start opening and just the doors open, that it's like, I'm always like, it's divine intervention, God's miracles at work. Like he's got already working so that you can get to, you need to get to where he needs you to go, actually, right? Where God wants you, where your angels want you to go. And I think that, right? That's how I love that you just said that, because that's really important too. So I think really your whole gratitude. If anybody's on Facebook, Jessica has a beautiful gratitude. What's the name of it? Growth and Gratitude. Gratitude group. That every morning she has a little a 2-minute meditation about gratitude, and she pulls. You pull angel cards too, right? On there, yeah.
It's their gratitude cards, but I also do angel cards at least once a month.
Yeah. And it's just a beautiful thing. And I was saying earlier that sometimes I miss them in the morning, but then I'll catch them later on in the day or during my lunch. And it's always just a perfect time to take 2 minutes and just have a moment of gratitude. So if anybody's interested in that, they can obviously do that. That's always available if you're on Facebook.
Absolutely.
And you just have to join the group. I think you would, if you were wondering, Jessica, you usually have like a little, like, how do I know you? A little question, right? Like before you join, or no? I can't remember when
I think it's been so long since I set it up. I'm not sure if I still have questions or not, but if I do, it's just like, the rules of the group and, respect and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes. Definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. And she also hosts, so that's how I met Jessica. Well, not how I met her, but one of the things, she also hosts live guests. You've been having monthly guests come on and presenting. And I was actually a presenter in her Facebook group, and it was loads and loads of fun to be there. So it was good. Yeah, it was so much fun.
So honored to have you. It was
fun. We had a great time. And then Jessica, what else are you offering, like in terms of if people are interested in working with you or kind of finding more out about you?
So you can go to my website, intangiblebalance.com, and you can get some information there on the services that I provide. And for anybody that watches the live here on Instagram, if you use 1212 shift as a coupon code as you're going through the process and booking something, I'll give you 30% off, specifically for the group here. And then, I just want to help people in whatever way is necessary.
Yeah.
So, through energy work and the gratitude practice and all of that, I feel like there's so much to offer.
Yeah. And Jessica, I just find it so beautiful. I just got the chills. So beautiful it really is how you healed yourself as well, right? It was the same steps you used to heal yourself are the same steps now that you want to share with others, it seems, to help them wherever they are, whatever it is that they're working through. It might not be physical, it might be whatever it is,
physical, emotional. It's just everything, and it all goes deep. There's always layers.
Yeah.
And for me, finding, I was really, really sick, but going down the path that I did, I found ways to help heal myself in, trauma that has happened to me in my life and all of that. And these tools are really key in making that healing process keep going. And that's really what I want to share with people is the tools that they can use, because we can all heal ourselves. Mm-hmm. We all have that ability. We have that, our bodies are just an amazing tool that we have. We're a soul in a human body, but they were created to be able to heal themselves. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when we have the tools to do that, it just works in such a beautiful way.
Yeah.
And not everything resonates with everybody. So you always take what resonates with you, but there's always that piece that's in the back for when it does maybe resonate with you down the road.
Yeah. That old saying that when the student's ready, the teacher, right? Or the teacher ready appears. Yep. And it's so true. It's so true. So I think that's another little nugget of wisdom there is that, that things become available to you when you're ready. They may have been in front of you the whole time, but you don't even realize it until you're ready to
Exactly.
release
Yeah.
it and stuff. I want to thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom with us today. For whoever missed the beginning, I was telling you a little bit about the Facebook group, but Jessica also gave us some tips on how to incorporate gratitude into our day. And she had talked about either using like a little stone or a piece of jewelry as a little reminder, right? That'll kind of give you a little reminder throughout the day to turn to gratitude. She also talked about putting it on our phone as a screensaver.
Yes.
Screensaver, or like a little sticky note. Maybe I'm thinking like the bathroom mirror or someplace where you're going to be all the time, which I think is really, really important and really for people to really take that on, and that it's a practice. It takes a little bit of work, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming or difficult. Very simple.
Exactly.
And she talked to us a little bit about obviously the energy healing and the angels, and just in ways not to be afraid of what's been calling you forward, because it's just a little fear, and just have that gratitude that you're already there, right? Like you almost state it as it's a past tense, like it's already happened.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
That was a great piece of wisdom and stuff. And thank you so much. Is there anything else before? I don't want to kick you. I always feel like I never know how to go off these because I have such great conversations, you know. But is there anything else that you wanted to share that we didn't touch on, like that you had?
I mean, I think that's it for now. That I can think of, anyways.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for you having me, and I love what you do. I think that this is great. It's a wonderful way to get the information out to people, and to really help maybe inspire some new ways for them to find themselves, really.
Yeah, it's kind of the same calling in a different way, is just sharing the wisdom of so many women as they've gone through their journey and how they have overcome them, and whoever feels, resonates with whatever, right? They can then take it a little bit further. And it's also a beautiful way of, for me, I feel like women lifting women, raising the vibration of us as well, and just lifting us up together, because historically, I would say, on a personal note, I wasn't always like that. So I didn't always want to see everybody else succeed. So I've had a lot of healing around that myself. So now I'm in a space where I just love this. I love to collaborate and connect with others and just share wisdom and stuff. So I want to thank you. And I think we'll connect again at some point in our lives, because I think we keep crossing paths anyway. So like,
I love that. I think you're amazing. So I'm glad.
Well, thank you so much for being on tonight. Thanks for everybody who was here live, and anybody who listens in the future. We hope you enjoyed this, and have a great night, everyone. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.